Here is every limited time troop in Clash of Clans, starting with the first one we got in 2016, the Ice Wizard. The Ice Wizard was one of 3 temporary things added during 2016's Clash Miss event. It was inspired by the Ice Wizard from Clash Royale, and it basically did the same thing, except in Clash of Clans it prioritized defenses. Now, the Ice Wizard wasn't shredding any bases, the damage was low and it died pretty quickly if it wasn't protected. However, if used right, its slowdown ability was pretty cool and also very unique. There was nothing that had a slowdown ability at the time. Throughout the years, it would make a return several times, the last time being 2021. Battle Ram. So there is a battle ram in the game that is exclusive to the clan capital, but even before the clan capital was even a thing, even before it was a thought, the battle ram, inspired by a card in Clash Royale, was temporarily available in August 2017 during the game's 5th year anniversary. The mechanics were very similar to how they are in the clan capital. They target walls and break open to reveal barbarians. However, for a few days when they were initially added for the event, they targeted anything, but because it was too weak, they changed it to target walls. Unfortunately, as cool as it was, the battle ram would never appear again in the home village. Pumpkin Barbarian. First available during Halloween 2017 and reappearing in 2021, the Pumpkin Barbarian was basically a regular barbarian but with a pumpkin helmet. And this helmet wasn't just a spooky design choice, it was actually functional. You know these skeletons from the skeleton spell that have shields that pop off of them? Well, this was the mechanic the Pumpkin Barbarians had. The pumpkin helmet would be destroyed first, and they would keep fighting as regular barbarians. Interestingly, the barbarians themselves had the same stats as regular barbarians, so this made them far superior. Giant Skeleton, or what I like to call Big Larry. Available several times throughout the years, the last time being 2022, this was yet another troop inspired by a card in Clash Royale. It was a massive skeleton that dealt the same damage as a giant, but with 2.5 times more HP, so it was pretty beefy. It would walk around and hit defenses, but once it was taken out, it would drop its bomb that dealt the same damage as a level 14 fireball today. Yeah, it was absolutely busted, but it wasn't that bad, let me not exaggerate. Because of its high housing space and the bomb's small radius, it was actually pretty balanced. Skeleton Barrel. Yet another troop that is currently exclusive to the clan capital. The Skeleton Barrel made an appearance in Halloween 2018 and 2020. The clan capital version of the Skeleton Barrel is nearly the same troop, with the exception that back then it targeted anything. So it used to be less effective, but it was still a pretty decent troop, especially how it dropped tons of skeletons. The Skeleton Barrel was also inspired by a card in Clash Royale. As you can probably tell by now, a lot of these early temporary troops were inspired by Clash Royale cards. El Primo. Inspired by a Brawl Stars character, it was available during December 2018 in celebration of Brawl Stars going global. El Primo was a defense targeting troop that was sort of like a mix between a barbarian and a modern day Root Rider because it could slice through walls whilst being a powerful melee. Unfortunately, he didn't do that signature jumping move in Clash, but he was pretty OP regardless. Definitely something you didn't want to sleep on. Party Wizard. Appearing for the 7th, 8th, 9th, and 11th anniversaries, the Party Wizard is a staple in Clashiversary celebrations. Now, at first glance, it may seem like just a regular wizard with a party outfit, and while that is true, they also had different stats. Had more damage, faster movement speed, they attacked and were targeted faster, but the hit points were reduced, so they were sort of a glass cannon. They also had a unique deploy music, which some of you may recall. Royal Ghost. Once again, another troop inspired by a card in Clash Royale, available in Halloween 2019, 2021, and 2022. Much like in Clash Royale, it deployed invisible, however, that's where the similarities stop. Not only did it stay invisible for 12 seconds, even if it was attacking something, it could also pass through walls. And it was pretty powerful. I mean, some people even call it the invisible P.E.K.K.A. Its only drawback was that it targeted anything, so it wasn't like a invisible Hog Rider by any means, but still pretty cool. Ram Rider. appearing in her Clash Royale form in 2022 with some Christmas attire, and as a literal cookie in 2023 during the Cookie Rumble event. The Round Rider is a pretty interesting one. Her special ability was similar to that in Clash Royale where she would charge toward a target, but what made it interesting in Clash of Clans is that it would also destroy any wall in its way during that charge. Furthermore, it would deal extra damage to that target and slow it down, and after that charge, it would then attack from afar. I really hope this one returns this year. Barcher. Introduced during the Mashup Madness event in 2023 and reappearing in 2024, the Barcher is basically what it sounds like, a hybrid between a Barbarian and a Archer with abilities from their super variants. So when first deployed, it would move faster, deal extra damage, and be invisible, and after that, it was a Archer on steroids. It was a pretty good replacement for Barch, as it was essentially a 2-in-1 situation. Hog Wizard. The second troop of the 2023 mashup event and also available in 2024, this troop combined aspects from a Hog Rider and a Wizard. On the bottom half was a Hog, allowing it to jump over walls like a regular Hog Rider, and riding it was a Wizard that could attack defenses from a distance and deal splash damage just like a regular Wizard. The only downside to these mashup troops is increased housing space and sometimes not as much damage as you would expect it to do. However, in the case of the Hog Wizard, it was still very fun to use. Witch Golem. The third troop of the 2023 mashup event and also available in 2024, this troop combined aspects from a Witch and a Golem. I know these are obvious, but just explaining it anyway. The Witch Golem was basically a golem wielding a staff that gave it the abilities of a witch, and it would also deal area damage and deploy big boys once it was taken out. The big boys are the name of those big skeletons the Super Witch spawns. Lava Loon. Finally, the last Mashup Madness troop, also reappearing in 2024 like all of the others. Like the name implies, this is a mashup between a Lava Hound and a balloon, and man was it OP. It was essentially a balloon on steroids that would spawn lava pups while it was still up, and once defeated, it would explode, dealing area damage. This was the strongest and probably the most fun and fan favorite out of the four, so much that it became a puppet equipment for the Grand Warden. Cookie. Available during the Cookie Rumble event in 2023, Cookie was a mini P.E.K.K.A looking gingerbread cookie that wielded a spiked club. Now, although Cookie looks like a mini P.E.K.K.A, it was much more similar to a Valkyrie, as when attacking, it swung the club 360, dealing an insane amount of splash damage around it. It was basically one-shot almost every building. I think basically everything but the Town Hall. Now, to keep it balanced, it did not have a preferred target, but with a housing space of only 10, it was still pretty dang powerful. Firecracker. Available during the 2024 Dragon Festival event, you may already be familiar with this one from Clash Royale. It is essentially an archer but with a rocket launcher, and every time it shot a rocket, it would get pushed back and the rocket kind of bounced to the targets behind, so it was sort of how the scatter shot works. It was a pretty decent replacement for something like a wizard. You could put it behind a tank and it would have a similar effectiveness. Azure Dragon. Available during the same 2024 Dragon Festival event the Firecracker was in, the Azure Dragon was very similar to a Super Dragon in stats, a little better actually, and the mechanics were also similar. The difference here being that the Azure Dragon, instead of doing splash damage in a wide area, it could hit targets up to 2 tiles behind its initial target. Think of it as whatever the Super Dragon couldn't hit, the Azure Dragon could, and vice versa. Barbarian Kicker. Available during the May 2024 Clash with Holland event, the Barbarian Kicker was quite unique. It was a barbarian that was supposed to look like Holland, and instead of a sword, it had a bow. Essentially, what the Barbarian Kicker did was move toward a defense, pause while it lined up the shot, and then from 11 tiles away, it would kick the ball, dealing some pretty good damage. The damage was so good that 2 of them could one-shot literally everything but the Town Hall. After the initial ball, the kicker would then start attacking as a melee character with its foot. It would start kicking things. Giant Thrower. Available alongside the Barbarian Kicker during the Clash with Holiday event, the Giant Thrower was very similar to a Super Bowler in stats and also mechanics. It would throw a ball and the ball would bounce between multiple targets. However, much like the Barbarian Kicker, this was only a one-off ability. So once it threw the ball, it didn't have a second one, it would just work as a regular giant. MECHA. The MECHA was one of 2 troops available during the Anime Clash event in August 2024. The most comparable troop is probably the P.E.K.K.A because it dealt heavy damage, but with considerably less HP and also susceptible to spring traps due to its low housing space. She was also very similar to that one temporary troop, El Primo, because she dealt 20 times more damage to walls. What made the MECHA stand out, however, is that it was way faster than any of these options. Just as fast as a super wall breaker, faster than a Hog Rider. With the amount of damage it dealt and its HP, it was a pretty good ground troop, especially for smash style attacks. Broom Witch. Launched alongside the MECHA as the second troop for the anime event, she was a anime style witch riding a broom that prioritized wizard towers specifically. Also, while attacking, every time she took 200 damage at a single hit, she would spawn witch spirits and deploy even more when defeated. She was very similar to the Yeti in mechanics, but to everyone's surprise, much stronger, and she was really fast. Now, the fact that she prioritized wizard towers was a double-edged sword at times. She would fly across the map for one. However, the pros outweighed the cons. She was considered a very powerful troop. Ice Minion. Finally, we're at the end of the list here with the Ice Minion that was recently available during the 2024 Mashup Mania event. The Ice Minion was essentially a hybrid between a Minion and a Ice Golem. It was a flying troop like the Minion with moderately low HP, but the other half of the troop was like the Ice Golem. It targeted defenses, inflicted slowdown effects, and dropping a freeze when defeated. Of course, a much smaller and shorter lasting freeze, but still very helpful. But yeah, that is every limited time troop we've had so far. There's probably going to be some new stuff soon, or maybe we'll see some old ones return, but yeah, you're all caught up. But hey, why stop here? YouTube thinks you'll like this next video, and I think you will too. Check it out. As always, thanks for watching, and Havoc Gaming out. Peace!